If it is happening as we give our attention to it, we call that present tense. And if it's something that we intend to happen, we call that future tense, all right? So, and of course, just briefly remind you that you know Imam Muhammad explained to us that there are really only two tenses, and that is past and future. Because what we call present, by the time you see it, is really past tense already. But we're not going to get into that technicality right now for the purpose of our presentation here. So, the first thing I want you to notice, just to get a holistic view, this column and this column, these are the present tense. And each of the present tense form have something in common. They have the prefix ya. Prefix. Now it may have a different vowel on it. It may have a, but it's all that. So we made that the color of that letter is green so that you would see it. And another reason for doing this is because so you understand that I know how it was with me. When you first start looking at Arabic, it's really just a bunch of marks. So the different colors also help us to distinguish which marks I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about the prefix or the first letter in column 2 and 4, the first letter, you notice all of the first letters are green. That's in addition to what we had in the first and third column, okay? So fa'ala is declaring that something has happened, all right? And then yaf'alu is declaring that it is happening, all right? This is past, it has happened, and this is it is happening, all right? Then fa'ala, which where we have the shadda on the middle letter, but it's a fa'ala instead of just fa'ala, fa'ala. That is referred to sometimes as the emphatic form, but it also indicates that there's more energy involved in this activity at this level. So we're talking about what has happened, but we're telling you there was a lot of energy involved in it. That energy was either by one person or by a group of people, or it happened over a long period of time. Either if it had by one person, then we call that intensive. If it was spread out over a long period of time, and we're telling you that it happened, then that's extensive. Also, if it happens by more than one person, it's still spread out, so it's extended. The energy is extended out. So this is saying the same thing we have here, but it's indicating that there was more energy in the act. It wasn't as calm as it was here, if I can say it that way. And then fa'ala, so this would be telling us that the same thing is happening, but with more energy. Yufa'ilu. Yaf'ilu, yufa'ilu. Yufa'ilu is telling us it's happening, but there's a lot of energy involved in it. Okay, this is happening, all right? And then fa'ala, long vowel, we have what we call an extended vowel here after the first letter. And that indicates that this is a reciprocal process, meaning it's exchange between parties. In other words, it's happening, it happened to him, and he caused it to happen back. You know, that's what we mean by reciprocation. I do it for you, you do it for me. Okay? All right. And then this is telling us that, let's say that it did happen. Now we're saying that it is happening. They are exchanging. Let's say they're exchanging greetings, all right? They're exchanging whatever it is. It's going between the parties, all right? So that's yufa'ilu, yufa'ilu. And notice that I also made the vowels green too, so you can see that the vowel, when the vowel changed from what we had in the past tense, then I indicated that with green. Okay, so as you know, it's still the vowel, it's the vowel. Thank you, that'll help you a little bit more. Yeah. So the vowel is still a vowel. Also, you remember, those of you who've been watching this for some time, you know, I also make the vowels red. Now all these different colors are not necessary to write Arabic, but I'm trying to demonstrate it for you. So I want you to see that these different marks, when you see a red mark in the past, that's indicated the vowel. Now today we're including green to show that there's a change in the vowel from what we had in the past tense. All right, and then we have af'ala. Af'ala is causative. It's the declaration of activity that is saying it caused it to happen. It caused this to happen. And then when we get to yuf'ilu. Now, that's expressing that this is causing it to happen as we speak. Yuf'ilu, all right? And then we have the fifth form, tafa'ala. And so tafa'ala, that we have a prefix that has been added to form 2, all right? And that prefix lets us know that not only is it more activity involved in it like it is here, but also it's reflexive. There's a whole lot of activity going on here, there's a whole lot of activity going on here, but the ta makes it reflexive. What do we mean by reflexive? When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Yourself. So that's what we mean. It's a reflection of yourself. And so the act has been committed and it came back. This is saying it has been committed and it came back to the one who committed the act. Now we're saying it is happening and he's getting it back. He's getting the benefit of the act. All right. So that's what we mean by reflexive. All right. And then we go to form 6, which is an extension of form 3. Form 3, remember, was reciprocal. Now this is reciprocal plus what? Can anybody tell me based on what we just said about 5? Now, form 6 is reflexive plus the ta. And what does the ta mean? Ta, remember? Nobody remember the ta? Come on, David, tell them, wake up the rest of the class. Tell them what?
You said that it was reflexive.
Reflexive, yes. So this is now reciprocal and reflexive. Reciprocal and reflexive, all right? And reflexive meaning coming back to the doer. Okay. Reciprocal, this is reciprocal, and the ta makes it reflexive, makes it come back to the doer. In fa'ala. In fa'ala is telling us that it has happened, and it is passive or intransitive. Those intransitive and passive are words that are used in grammar to refer to activity that has no object. I mean, nobody got it. It's like walking, and say he's walking, or he's walking the baby. If he's walking, that's intransitive. If he's walking the baby, that's transitive. The baby is receiving the action. So when we say in fa'ala, we're saying that it's intransitive. All right, and then this is referring to it. This is referring that it happened and nobody received the action, and here it is happening and nobody is receiving the action. All right. Now, if you have any questions, be sure to ask Cosmo. He'll tell you. All right. Okay. And so now we're on if ta'ala, right? We had if ta'ala, and if ta'ala is referring to passive, referring to reflexive also. If ta'ala is reflexive, the action has taken place and it's reflexive. Now, this is telling us that it is coming back here, all right? Okay. So now it's another form of reflexivity, okay? And then we have if ayla. This is the only form where we have a shadda on the last letter of the root word. And so that's a good clue to let you know what form 8 is. And when you see the shadda on the last letter, that means that action is colored in some way or is defective. In other words, it's not the pure form of the action itself. It's either colored, some refer to it as colored, some refer to it as defective, but it's different, okay? Okay, and then istaf'ala, the scene as we have actually two prefixes, is and ta, and the ta is still reflexive and the is seeking. So this is stating that the action was sought. Since it's past tense, then it's not seeking, it's sought. This was an activity that was sought, and here it is being sought, all right? And it is reflexive because of the tagging, okay? So it's kind of like doing something to benefit yourself. I'm planning to do something to benefit yourself, all right? Any questions on the form, present tense form of the 10 form of the verb, present tense? Everybody understands present and past. Now, what I wanted to, what I have on the other side of the board is a little bit past what we're doing here, but I enjoyed it so much when I was looking at it, I just had to share it with you. So if you will allow me, I'll flip the board and we'll take a look at it.
Screw that from bottom, under the bottom.
Oh, it's under the bottom. I knew it wasn't supposed to screw it. I knew I flipped it once, it's just supposed to turn it when I'm looking for the pull at the wrong place. There we go. Thank you. And sometimes everything don't work like it's supposed to, but it's there. All right. This is a word, this word here, ghafara. I just put a couple of examples up here. We actually have two attributes of Allah that comes from this word. El-Ghaffar and El-Ghafar. El-Ghaffar and El-Ghafur. El-Ghaffar and El-Ghafur. Okay, both come from this word Ghafara. Ghafara means to pardon or to forgive. I was looking in the dictionary of the Holy Quran. I can't remember who put that dictionary together now, but I know we had one of their sons here one time, not too long ago. Yeah, I can't remember. Manan, I believe it's Manan, yes, okay. And it was interesting the way they present the verbs. I don't agree with everything that's in that dictionary, and when I don't agree, I have justification, not just because I don't like it, but it has some good information in it also. And so one of the things that they do most of the time is they'll tell you approximately how many times that word or some form of that word is used in the Quran, since it's a Quranic dictionary. And they say that this word Ghafara and derivatives from Ghafara appear in the Quran 2,333 times. They say as many as 2,333 times. They didn't say it was exactly, they say as many as. And I said, that's a lot of times. And I think that merits our attention, getting our attention. So as I said, we have the two attributes coming from the same word, El-Ghaffar and El-Ghafur, coming from the same word. And then when we make prayer, so, and I'm saying that another reason why I'm saying is because some of us may not know it. When sometimes you be sitting after you made your prayer and you see somebody else making their prayer and they're moving so fast, you wonder if they say anything at that particular move, So when we come up from sajda in jalsa, that's the sitting position, the first time, we say, Allahu maghfir lana wa rahamna. Allahumma. It's not long, you're not sitting there meditating on it, but it's just something that we say, that Allahu maghfir lana wa rahamna. And I remember that when Imam Muhammad taught us that. It was a brother, he was older than me, but he wasn't that much older than me, but I guess his knees must have been about like mine are now, because he said, sitting in that position, you need Allah to have some mercy on you, because your knees are hurting so bad. And that's what he told me. I said, okay, all right, that's a good one. But that's what we say when we come up to the first sajda. You go all the way down, make sajda, and we come up and sit in jalsa before we go back down again. When we come up in that position, we don't just come up and bounce and then go on back down. We say, Allahu maghfir, and that's one reason why I want to present this here. Allahu maghfir lana wa rahamna. Well, actually, that's maghfir lana, that's for the plural, that's if you leave your prayer. But if you're just praying by yourself, you say, Allahu maghfir li wa rahamni. That's the single individual. Lana would be plural, okay? And then we have a dua that we say, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْحِسَابُ. Now, I say that one often. Neither one of my parents were Muslims. My mother didn't know anything about Islam, and I didn't either before she passed. Okay, so my dad did hear something about it from me, and he did what he could. May Allah forgive him his sins and grant him paradise. He was a Baptist preacher, but he didn't pastor a church because he said the people didn't want to hear the truth. So he took what I would hear him sometimes, and he would take what I had told him, but he just capitalized it all with Jesus. But he was trying, and so Allah is the best knower. But I say that I do that often. I say, as a dua after I have made my salat, then I make dua.